Yes, guys, welcome from me, Championship Manager 0102. The D.T.L save has hit for October. Well, Mark finally got off his arse and sent in. Now, do I slag off Mark? Do I slag off the people that took their sweet time? No, I'm only joking with you. AMC, you bastard. Right, no. So we are off and running. I don't mind a delay in how long it takes. I think for me personally, it's all about there should be deadlines. That's just a personal opinion. And then, if need be, delay the deadline. I just think, just so we're all on, so we're not sort of waiting from one day to the next. And it's funny because yesterday I got home and I just happened to look at the computer and the save was out. And it weren't until I saw a squad submitted from Redknapp that I thought, well, hang on a minute, what could it be posted in squad submitted? And it was actually a fresh one. But anyway, enough of that shit. We're here anyway. So the October month of season 6 has concluded. And we'll start with me. We'll start with me because it was an absolute shit show of a month. You know, if someone had had a shit month, right, I'd be very quick to say they're a fucking disgrace and they should be shot or skinned alive. You know, that now falls on me because this was an absolute awful month. It started out with a defeat against Redders. He did say probably a draw was a fair result. He's right, but do you know what? That's no excuse. Fucking awful game from both of us, but Redders, from his perspective, will not give a shit. He got the victory. Well done. I'm saying that very, very reluctantly. A little bit of a positive in terms of the month. We beat Marimo 4-0. We absolutely hammered Marimo 4-0. But the stats don't suggest it. It's a bit of a flattering scoreline. So Marimo over at Arsenal, well and truly beaten. We've got the first leg of our UEFA Cup second round out the way, where we played the Latvians. Is it Skonto? And again, you know, it was a good performance, but we were playing, you know, second-rate opposition. Let's be fucking honest here. And then, of course, the last 2 league games of the month. I can't remember top of my head. Who's Preston? Luke, sorry. Beaten against Preston 2-0. Little bit harsh, it really is. 10 minutes to go and we lose 2 goals. Not good enough. That is the bottom line. Not good enough at all. And then, of course, the last game we lost to Ian. So not fucking good enough whatsoever. Again, see, so all the games that we lost against our human opposition, we didn't really deserve it. I mean, it's a little bit fucking brutal. It really was. And the funny thing is, with regards to Ian, or London 35, shall I say, sorry, alternatively known as, is we were both playing the same formation. So just a little bit gutted. Something I did spot with London, funnily enough, and Mark pointed this out on the write-up, that Phillips is in fucking great form. He's got himself a fucking beauty there. He really has. So for us, we are going to change setup a little bit. I was a little bit angry, and I think probably because one bad month can be so shit. I mean, look at the situation there. The top 13 or top 15, shall I say, is all of us. But Trunky, let's start with Trunky then. Trunky, only a point clear of Dermotron, Southampton, and Hull City for that matter. Wasn't the greatest month in the world for the champion. Nice result in the League Cup. Defeat against Reese at Tranmere. I think he'll be disgusted with that. He's off and running easily in the Champions League. Nice result over Spurs. And a nice result over Spectral as well. But a defeat at home to Dermotron. So I think Trunky will be fucking annoyed, particularly at that. I hadn't seen that. I had not seen that. That is absolutely fucking brutal. To lose 1-0 is one thing, but with those stats is fucking outrageous. Let's see what he was against Reese. Well, he's got no qualms at that one. So Trunky, yeah, well done. Southampton, Dermotron, lost against Ian. Ian has had a really good run, hasn't he? But, he got a taste of his own medicine there. He didn't deserve that, did he? Really did not deserve it. Phillips with a couple of goals there. So, bit of a mixed bag here for Dermotron. He's off and running in the Champions League. Looks very good. He's in the League Cup as well. And he beat Newcastle 2-1. Oh my God, I hadn't even spotted that. Man, what the fuck? I've got to be honest, I spotted one other scoreline between Matt and Neil. And I saw that Joe Cole got sent off. But Matt, what the fuck? You're 1-up. I mean, You were losing it anyway coming into the 90th minute. Let's have a look what happened in the 90th minute there, shall we? Kerr was pushed by Decor. Mark Kerr was my old player, of course. Second yellow card. Angrily, Hasselbank kicked out. Right, okay. Okay, so you've obviously got to take that into account. So, yeah, looking good, Durham. Looking good. Hull City. Is that AMC? I can't remember. It is AMC. So, Hull City. Very good month. Yeah, look, 4 wins out of 4 for you. UEFA Cup first round and 3 league results. I think he'll be very pleased. And look at that. He beat Ian's Man United. London's Man United. And it's funny what goes around comes around about teams getting victories in probably a game where they deserved at best a draw. But he's riding high in the UEFA Cup. Of course, those of us that are involved, looking good indeed. Over to Marimo. Now Marimo, we see that I beat them 4-0. Looking good in the UEFA Cup. He beat Neil's Leicester. He beat Spectral. That was a fucking great result. Absolute great result. And it's bizarre really because Spectral's still playing his funky formation there. Marimo's still playing to his initial setup. It's amazing how things go. It really is. So he's still in there. Matt, we just said about, I know he lost to Neil, and I think he'll be disgusted with that, but I think he'll be more disgusted with what happened against Derbyshire with those 2 red cards in the 90th minute. He did beat Fulham, he thrashed Bolton, be very pleased, and he's out of the League Cup against London's Man United, so he's got a big month ahead of him. So he's got Spectral, Tottenham, myself, Man City. I think that's all he'll have going forward. For me personally, let me just go through. For me, we've got a big month. We've got excuse me. We've got the second leg of our UEFA Cup. We've got the 3rd round of the League Cup. We've got the 4th round of the League Cup if we're in it. And as you can see, we've got Dermatron as well as Matt. So what we've got? We've got 4 league games. UEFA Cup. I don't know when the UEFA Cup 3rd round will be, which we should be in, shouldn't we? Let's just check that. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. So we're going to conclude the UEFA Cup 3rd round. It looks like. So we're going to have 2 games over there. So we've got a really big month ahead of us. I mean, according to that, we've got 6 games. But to my workings out, we are potentially going to have 9 games, aren't we? We're going to have the UEFA Cup 3rd round, assuming we get there, and the League Cup 4th round, assuming we get there. Big month for us indeed. Over to Spectral. Spectral, not a great month for him. I think we looked at Spectral before, didn't we? He had a shocking start to the month. Defeat against AJ, defeat against Trunky. He's off and running the UEFA Cup. He beat Watford, and then, yeah, he'll be annoyed. What's very, very quickly. So, yeah, so we're all looking good in the UEFA Cup. Question is, if we all reach a 3rd round, which we should, are we going to clash with one another? Who knows? Excuse me. But all will be revealed on the next video. Oh, I've got the hiccups, fuck me. Dweverstone at Leeds had such a good start, but it's fallen off the pace a little bit, it's fair to say. Let's see, Man United lost to Man United, drew with Liverpool, beat Derby, drew with Sheffield Wednesday. He'll be pissed off. Yeah, he'll be fucked off and annoyed. Over to Tranmere Reese. Now we mentioned Reese. He had a fantastic result over Colchester. Beat Liverpool, so looks good. Draw. So a very good month, I think, to be fair. And I think Reese will be really fucked off, right? The 2 draws were against AI opposition at home. And then he got 2 remarkable results over Liverpool and Colchester. Reese will be really, really fucked off. And he's through in the League Cup as well. And the draw's not been made for that yet. He's got a big month next month as well. Over to 9th place. Liverpool Red, as we spoke about them briefly. His results have come up here and there. Beat me, of course. Drew with Leeds. Defeat at Reese. And a victory over Watford. Again, it's going to be a big month for him as well. Equally as big month for him as it is for me. Because he's likely to go in the UEFA Cup 3rd round. If he beats Orient, which he should in the League Cup, he'll get a 4th round ticket. And then, of course, he's got 4 league games, so it's a big month for us both. It really is. Okay, on to Preston. Did we mention Preston? Could have swore we mentioned. Yeah. They beat me, didn't they? They beat me disgustingly. Beat Tottenham. Lost to Bolton. He'll be a little bit pissed off about losing to Bolton. lost against Man City, and shockingly got knocked out of the League Cup. Sensational stuff. But Preston, I mean, Preston, I think he's doing well. I think Luke's doing a good job. I didn't expect Luke to be pulling off some good results like he has done. I think give him credit where it is due. Man City, AJ. Now this is interesting because still riding high in the Champions League, of course. Let's just have a quick gander at his status. He's already confirmed his qualification. Of course, Mark pointed something out here. AJ, I didn't actually realise how well AJ has done in the League Cup. He's won it for the last 5 years. And something I probably should have gone to before, that Mark did so much work on the history of D.T.L. That's what he's done. AJ's won it for the last 5 years. He's been fucking brilliant, and I think give him credit where it is due. But he will not be a 6th straight League Cup victory. He is out on penalties. Let's have a look how that went in terms of stats. The red card was costly, weren't it? Yeah, that's what it was down to. That is what it was down to. But in terms of his month in the league, a victory over Preston, a victory over Sheffield Wednesday, a victory over Watford, victory over Chelsea. So, was it a perfect month for him? It looks like it was, weren't it? Do you know what? But it was only 3 league games, weren't it? 3 league games because of his Champions League participation. He'll be pleased. I think he's really picked himself up, and he'll be up there. You know, he will be up there. There's no doubt about that. 13th place Wolves, we spoke about, whatever. Bolton, we spoke about Bolton briefly. I think they've had a game here and there. So Esam, through in the League Cup, well done. Lost to Durham, got thrashed against Newcastle, beat Derby, beat Preston. So 2-2. It's a tricky one, really. It's a tricky one. He'll be pissed off about the Southampton game. I think when you lose 2-1, you're a little bit more pissed off. I mean, he's got no one to blame but himself, though. Red card, look at that. He was absolutely fucking raped, weren't he? He really was absolutely raped. He'll be angry about losing to a fellow human manager 4-0. But I think the most important thing is he got that victory over AI. So, long way to go. At the bottom of the 15 human managers in the Premier League, it's Neil, Virgil van Dijk. Neil had a little bit of a better month. So let's see, he drew with Sheffield Wednesday. He'll be gutted at that because I think you've got to take advantage of beating AI. You really have. And he certainly did so at home to Fulham. Well done. Lost against Marimo 2-1. Beat Matt 2-0. And of course he went through in the League Cup. So a lot of us are really battling it in the League Cup. Big month ahead for you, Neil. Southampton, Bolton, Derby and Hull, and probably, well, will be a 4th round League Cup game in there. And of course in December, Neil, you take on the mighty Wolves. You should be shitting yourself. Right, and finally, let's just go to the First Division. Blackburn, just a ghost. Look a little bit more promising for just a ghost now. I think he had a much better month. Beat Torquay, beat Bradford, lost to Grimsby, beat Wigan, draw with Millwall and beat Gillingham. Looks a little bit more promising, but a long, long way to go, it's fair to say. Quick blast there at the history of the First Division. Back in Season 1, my only real sort of achievement. Trunky, of course, Season 2, Reese Season 3, AMC Season 4, and Season 5 wasn't even us. I didn't pay attention to this before. This is absolute wonderful work from Mark, doing the history. So great stuff. Let's have a look if any of us apply. Yes, so Trunky, look at that Trunky. Such a fucking greedy bastard, isn't he? So he's done well there. Let's have a look at AMC has won over there. Let's get to the FA Cup. So Redders has won it twice. Now, that weren't Matt, of course. That was Eben. Eben won it. So, Matt, check you out. Even though you're not actually there, when you took over Newcastle, you've actually got a trophy there in the cabinet. And, of course, I recall last season, of course. That's the FA Cup. Let's have a look at the Vans. Yeah, someone's won it on the Vans. The Charity Shield. Yeah, and now let's take a look at the... let's have a look at the competition. Let's have a look at the UEFA Cup. See if any of us... I do remember Reese was in the final last season. A little bit harsh, because that would have given him UEFA Cup participation this season, and effectively could have brought me down into the Intertoto, for all I know. That was really unlucky from Reese. It really was. And the Champions League, of course. Last season, of course, Dermatron won it. Spectral won it the season before. Trunky is my tip to do well this season, and I do think Man City will do well as well. So great stuff, absolutely great stuff, and that's it from me, guys. And the D.T.L, we have another one. We're looking at probably another 2 weeks before we do another video, or whenever Mark gets his fucking arse in. I'm joking, Mark. Incidentally, let's just go back to Mark a minute. Let's have a look how his old Oh, look at that, they're riding high. Of course they are. So, if somebody pulls out a D.T.L and there's a space available, they have the option to take over a new club or take over a club already managed. Stoke City is there, and they'll possibly be leading their way to the Premier League. Barry Ferguson, what a player. I think he's such a great player, Barry Ferguson, on the ODB. Not so familiar with him on the 3.968, but what a fucking player. So, anyway, that's it from me. Till next time, take it easy.